What do we have in the courts? Lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up being in the Supreme Court? Lawyers.
Okay, it's just like when California voted, the people voted against marriage for anybody that wasn't man and woman, and then the court overturned it and said, no, that's not right. So everybody can be married now.
Well, see, here's the thing. You got to remember, the folks in California voted in Proposition 13 about property taxes being reduced. In other words, they never, when they voted for a tax reduction in property taxes, and when they voted that, you know, two guys and two gals could get together, the courts did, they never considered the unintended consequences of that action.
That's a new phrase, unintended consequences.
The unintended consequences of that action, just exactly like the people in Buncombe County government don't consider the unintended consequences when they keep on buying buildings, building projects, doing things, when they're spending money like a drunk sailor, when we've got other governments going belly under. You know, this is the thing that gets me about what's going on in Buncombe County. But why does that occur? Well, today at the county commissioner meeting, I dare say the only person there was Jerry Rice. I couldn't be there. I had an accident, so I didn't have time to go. I had to get ready for the show tonight. People don't get involved. As a matter of fact, you still on the line, caller?
Yes.
What do you see hanging off of some of these big old pickup trucks, hanging off the back, the hitch that's out of the back of these trucks?
Nothing no more because nobody's working.
Well, no. Haven't you seen these two round things in a sack hanging back there?
What?
What?
You haven't seen these guys driving these big pickup trucks around with NRA stickers in the back window, and on that trailer hitch sticking out the back, they have this sack with two round things in it. Sometimes they're red.
He got it.
You got it. You know what I'm talking about. Well, you know what I think? I think those big burly guys driving around those trucks need to pull a knife out and cut them things off because they ain't got the guts to stand up at the county commissioners meeting or get involved in their local political party and say what they think. They've been castrated, folks.
Now, let me ask you.
He's changing the subject.
I don't know if anybody else noticed or not. This past week was Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of other countries were celebrating veterans and stuff on different days and stuff. But did I miss our government going down and placing a wreath or anything on the Arlington Cemetery, or did they just pass it by? What happened there?
I saw something.
You saw something? What did you see, honey?
Well, I saw veterans putting down wreaths and Marines saluting them.
In the cemetery, okay. They normally have
in Washington.
Well, they normally have a celebration at the Black Mountain Cemetery too. I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah, I don't know that.
My hat's off to. I normally give him a hard time. And hold on, Matt, if you're walking through and just happen to be watching the show tonight, like Bill Stanley. But Matt Matan did take that day and let people call in and recognize veterans in the past, and I appreciate him for doing that. He did that day. I do know he did that. So
Good.
he was in his own way trying, but I think what I hear you saying is that there wasn't a big to-do by our city council or our county commissioners for this that we know of.
Or even our main government up there in Washington that just kind of passed by without no attention. And that's a sad state of affairs, you know. So you took a shellacking, but the only reason you were able to take that shellacking is because of the people that fought for us and defended our country and defended our rights.
Well, I think that's true, and that's why I said what I said a minute ago about those things on these pickup trucks. I think some of these guys need to cut them off, either get involved or cut them off, one of the two. I mean, we can't have it both ways. And by the way, I hope you voted.
Yes, I did.
Good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and hope you plan on voting the next time. Go to a county commission meeting sometime if you've got the time and can go. If you need to know
I'll try to do that, but it just seems that they're setting their agenda, and there's nothing we can do besides voting to get rid of these.
Guess
people.
what you can do though? You can go up there and be a little bit of a burr under their saddle. You can go and sit there and look at them and smile and get up and take your 3 minutes that they give you. And if more people do that, we'll be better off. See, the same person does it over and over. Appreciate it a lot. Got a call coming in. Let me get it. Take care.
Bye.
Hello, you're live on Citizen Speak.
Tonight.
Do what?
Where's the goat herder tonight?
The goat herder tonight. She's the goat herder for us tonight.
Oh, that communist dictator on your right all the time. Where's he tonight?
Oh, where's he at tonight? That guy that's got the... Well, I tell you where he's at. He sounds like he's on the telephone talking to me right now.
How's it going?
Well, you called in on another phone. I want to know how's it going. You making any money?
Well, I think so, yes.
Well, good. You have $25 next week. Have $25 with you next week. You sit here, okay?
Oh, yes, definitely. I got a question for you, okay?
Yeah, you go be sitting here next week in place of me, and guess who's sitting beside me? This good looking lady that's got white hair that's let it grow. She's shaved off her goatee and she's grown some things on her chest.
Is she a goat herder?
She's a goat herder too.
An aspiring goat herder.
Aspiring goat herder.
Fire goat herder.
Yeah.
I got one question for you. Did
Well,
you vote?
yes, she
was
voted.
early.
And by the way,
Voted.
just hold on. You got to stay on the line because she's got something to tell you. It's a
Okay.
It's a special thing when she heard that Schuler was going to stick to his campaign promise,
Yes.
and he's going to not vote for Nancy Pelosi, and he's going to run himself.
That's right. And I called him. That I said that his nose was going to get shorter because he is for once telling the truth. What do you say to that, Harry?
What do you say to that, Harry?
Well, he went to the right doctor to get his nose shortened.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to share that with you tonight. Okay.
So he had cosmetic surgery on his nose. But now, there's no more Blue Dog Democrats to vote for him now.
That's all right.
What's going to happen now, Don?
That's okay. That's okay. Long as he sticks to his word. See, he's tried.
For once.
Maybe he's seen the light.
Well.
He's seen the light. He's seen the light. Hallelujah.
Well, you behave yourself, all right?
What's that?
You behave yourself. You gonna make some money?
Well, yeah, we're on our way back now. We just left Bernard, Hickory, and now we're almost to Morganton. So it's raining hard.
Well, now I'm gonna tell you what.
Lightning and everything else.
Don't you stop Morgan, because if you do, they'll keep you.
Take care, Regina.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
You know, coming back to Veterans Day, I was, like I said, I was at that conference, Christian conference, right? And lo and behold, on Friday night, there I saw a very lovely female soldier in full camouflage and an older Marine, and he had...
Hold a minute.
And then some people with flags, American flag, Christian flag, and Israeli flag. And they were marching in, and I never have heard 500 people singing at the top of their lungs, America the Beautiful, and then, of course, the national anthem. And tears were flowing, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Not on a football field have I seen that, not in any other ceremony. It impressed me.
Well, I think there's some people out there that really appreciate it now. I really do. Go ahead. You're live on Citizen Speak.
Yeah, I talked with you last night, and what it was about is why can't the working people run for president or other political office, and why does it always have to be the rich?
Why does only the rich have to run for political office? Well, I would suggest to you this. If there's an office you'd like to run for, then you run for it. Now, I can promise you this. You'll have people make fun of you.
Yeah.
You'll have people promise you things that they won't do. But I'll be honest with this. If you are determined and got stick-to-itiveness, you will learn so much in running for office that it will give you a total different perspective on what's going on. And what you will find, and I believe this, and according to Mr. Blake Butler and Leslie Gottschalk, or whatever her name is, and that Michael Mulehead, that I hold the record for running for office the most in Buncombe County of anybody. Well, that's not true. And they tried to say some things that's not true about me, which is fine. If you're going to run for political office, you better have a thick skin.
Yes.
Real thick skin. Because what happens is you're going to take abuse. If you tell the truth, you probably will not get elected because people want their ears tickled and they want what they want and not they don't have the capability of thinking about what's the best for everybody else. And that's why I would encourage you to get involved in the process. If the reason that a common, average, everyday American cannot get elected is because the common, everyday, average American is not involved in the process. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
And so I would encourage you, if you want to get involved, let me know. I don't care which party it is. You've heard me say it on this show before. If you're a conservative Democrat and you don't like the way that Cecil Bothell and those radical liberals are taking your party, then get involved in the Democrat Party. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you challenge the power structure of the Democrat Party, they're probably going to come after you. I'm not going to promise you that there's some people in the Republican Party who won't do the same. I was just discussing right before we got on the air. I know some key, major, high-powered attorneys here in Buncombe County that were not supporting someone challenging Ron Moore because they didn't want to mess up their little game plan that they have. They didn't want to mess up their little deals they have cut with him behind closed doors. They didn't want to mess up anything. And so that's how we change that. That's how the average everyday American changes that. I think that's one of the things that Dan Eichenbaum appealed to a lot of common, everyday, average people because he was trying his best to tell solutions and have solutions. He didn't appear to be something, and he tries to appear to be common. And if you're ever around him, you can get that and sense that. But the bottom line is that people get their feelings in the way. I was talking today with someone that's very high up in the Republican Party throughout the state, and he made this comment. He said, if the sole object of the Republican Party is just to win at any cost, then we are not doing what we should. And I am proud to say that I know that man, and he's a personal friend of mine, and he and I were talking about exactly what you and I are talking about right now. And what has to happen is people have got to get involved. They've got to call. They've got to seek out the party they want to get involved with. And the Tea Party is a good organization. They had some challenges getting organized. Anytime you get a group of people together, you're going to have problems. You're going to have people that are not going to see it their way. But what you have to do is be able to sit down and say what you think and stick together. That's the problem. You got to create a critical mass. To change things, you got to create a critical mass. I know that we have a state leader of the Republican Party who's going around like he's the stud duck in the puddle, and he's the one that brought the victory about in North Carolina. That's not true. You know who brought the victory in North Carolina and changed North Carolina after 110 years? It was the people.
Yes.
It was the people. It was some Tea Party people. It was some libertarians that voted and realized that, hey, the best way they can do right now is throw out who's in there and put in some new people. And I tell these folks that got elected, I was at a retreat in Boone just last weekend, and we had a new man that was elected there, and he was answering questions, and halfway through the question and answer question, I said, sir, I detect a little bit of reluctance on your part to stand up and be for states' rights. And he said, I don't see why you'd say that. And the minute I said that, guess what happened? Guy behind me says, well, I know why he said it. I was thinking the same thing, just wouldn't say it. And for the next 45 minutes, they nailed him to the cross. And when he walked out of that room,